This next video being brought to you by Ashe Creations. Follow Ashe Creations on Instagram at Ashe Creation Graphics. That's for your t-shirt apparel and custom design needs.
Danny Garcia, he ain't got to fight, so me and Danny can fight. I mean,
you think Danny's gonna want to fight you?
Man, I got a title. If you want to fight for the title.
Alright, Dre Spector Boxing here with another video. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you do hit the bell notification. That way you stay updated on the latest content as I add it to the channel. Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia. That is a done deal. Both parties have agreed to fight each other either in October or November. I'm believing that the date will be announced soon. I'm sure it's going to be a Fox pay-per-view event because the Fox pay-per-view lineup has not came out. Well, Fox lineup with PBC hasn't came out, and I'm sure that that's going to be on that lineup. So we're just waiting on the actual fight date, and it's going to be announced soon. And because of the PBC Showtime dates, I'm predicting that that's going to be sometime in October or November for an open date, especially for this big pay-per-view matchup. They're going to have to build. So I'm thinking the latter more than earlier. So this fight is a fight that was postponed from January. They were supposed to meet on January, the fight in which Danny Garcia faced Ivan Redkach. Well, Errol Spence had a car accident, as we all know at this point. Hadn't been able to recover in time to make that fight date. And then right after that, I guess Danny went ahead and accepted that fight date and filled it in with a replacement. And after that, COVID hit. So I think COVID actually favored Errol Spence in this fight, because the whole time that COVID has been going on, we've been quarantining and things of that nature. I've seen Errol Spence just in the gym. The last time I seen Danny Garcia, though, he was looking a lot heavier than fighting shape, and a little bit more pudgy, and I believe that favors Errol Spence in this fight, because he's been training to recover for a training camp. On the other hand, Danny Garcia is kind of been slacking. So I'm not sure how much time he's gonna have for a training camp before the fight right now. I don't know if he started working out. I haven't seen it, but I know Earl has been training for a while now, and I've been seeing it on Ellie page. I've been seeing on other people's, on his Snapchat and Instagram stories. So I believe that this favors Errol Spence, the time that he got from the quarantine, the extra time he got. So it'll be almost a year. I'm predicting about a year since his last fight when he returns into the ring. I think it was more than enough time for him to recover from the accident. I think it's more than enough time for him to get in fighting shape. And then he also has a training camp to train for Danny Garcia as he comes up. Now, Danny Garcia is a guy I feel like had been avoiding Errol Spence early on, because Errol Spence called out Danny Garcia's name after he won the championship, his IBF championship from Carol Brook. He said that Danny Garcia was one of the guys that he wanted to fight, and Danny Garcia had said in the past before that once Earl got a belt, that he would fight him. Well, that was not the case. It seemed like he started to avoid him, and he went off and did other things. I.e., he fought Keith Thurman and lost the belt. He fought Sean Porter and tried to regain the championship belt and lost in that. So he's had a rough go of it since then, as Errol Spence continued on his tear, continued winning, continued getting big fights. And it wasn't until after the Mikey Garcia fight that I had heard Danny Garcia come back and mention Errol Spence's name. Before the Mikey Garcia big event, and which catapulted Errol Spence into a pay-per-view star, you hadn't heard some of these guys say Errol Spence's name. Now they coming out of the woodworks, and I made a video on that before, saying that Danny Garcia is now asking for a fight with Errol Spence. Yeah, the cash is there now. Now he's chasing the check. He wants the money. Is he deserving of this shot at this point after losing to Sean Porter? I think even though Errol Spence doesn't want to fight Keith Thurman is more deserving at this point to me over Danny Garcia. But styles make fights too. I think Danny Garcia will be an easier fight than Keith Thurman for Errol Spence. That's just my opinion. And that's because I believe that Keith Thurman is better than Danny Garcia on most occasions. I believe if they fought 10 times, I think Keith Thurman can win about 8 of those 10. Because I just think that his style is that much better and tailored for Danny Garcia, the movement that he gives him. So, I think now the tables have turned. Earl is the pay-per-view star. Danny is the one that's chasing Earl now, and Earl is giving him the opportunity for whatever reason. I think it will be a big draw. Danny Garcia has a big name. He's been around the sport for a while. He did some good damage at 140, and then he's been in big fights here at 147 pounds. So I believe that now it's time for Danny, who has, since the Mikey Garcia fight, been talking a lot of trash, saying stuff that he's seen. It's time for him to back all that trash up now. Now it's time for him to say that Errol Spence isn't the boogeyman, that he can beat Errol Spence, and he sees something like he said Mikey Garcia seen something. He say he seen it too. Y'all remember that? Well, now it's time for him to show us what he's seen that Mikey Garcia couldn't expose. Let us know what it is that you seen, Danny. So the tables have turned. The unified champ, he is returned. This is going to be a big event, a big pay-per-view event. You know that I'm one of the biggest fans of Errol Spence. I'm a big fan of Danny Garcia as well. But I believe that this is just going to be another notch under the belt for Errol Spence and his track to greatness. Future undisputed at 147 pounds. That's what I believe. But he has to get these guys to get in the ring and fight with him. Right now, this is what Errol says is a tune-up, because he gonna tune his ass up. This may be what he needs to get back in the swing of things to be able to compete at the highest level. After this, I'm going to be begging for the Terrence Crawford fight, or at least the Manny Pacquiao fight, at least another unification. But even before the Pacquiao fight, I'd like to see Errol Spence go ahead and fight Terrence Crawford. Hopefully that'll be what's next in store. If not, then the Pacquiao fight should be next. Let me know what you guys think about this matchup, Danny Garcia, Errol Spence. You already know where I stand on it. You already should know where I'm going with it. It'll be Errol Spence all day. This Team Spence over here, I believe that he's the best at 147 right now today. And even with the car accident, given it time to recover with this extra time from COVID-19, I think that favors Earl. He's in shape. He's going to have another training camp, a full training camp to prepare for Danny Garcia. I think this all shapes up to be a dominant, one-sided fight. I don't think it's going to be as competitive as people may think. Some may call it a 50-50 fight. I don't see it that way. I see it more of a 7-30 with Danny banking on Earl having some remnants of his injuries from the car accident. I think if he can bank on that, maybe he can expose something from some type of injury from the car accident, then maybe he may have success. Other than that, I see this as a wash. Pretty much Errol Spence is going to wipe him. So let me know what you guys think about this matchup and how it potentially could go. And if you're excited for them to go ahead and announce this fight, or did you want to see something different from Errol Spence as he returned? That's Dre Spective. That's all I got for you, and I'm out.